Welcome!
Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 2 to What If Mercenary Tao Turned Good. Before we get into it, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, both Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around and turning on all Omniverse notifications, and commenting future requests and expectations in the comments section. With all that said, let's begin. We open up where we ended off last time. Fortune teller Baba saga with no Upa because he really wants his dad resurrected before he can ever forgive or go on a mission again with Goku, Tao, or anybody. And Tao's along for the ride, obviously. Krillin still fights Fangs, but Poir is the only one there and not Upa. But I'm pretty sure that Poir would still be able to come up with a way to beat him, or he would just, end up surrendering or just getting beaten by one of the other players, like Yamcha, for example. Then Yamcha faces the Invisible Man, and that all goes the same. Then he gets beaten by Bandages, and then Tao's up next. And we get Tao versus Bandages. And Tao is visibly surprised that Bandages is actually stronger than he gave him credit for. No wonder that Yamcha guy lost to him. But Tao is far from at the top of his game, and he turns up the heat. He fires a Dodon Ray, but Bandages uses his bandages and wraps the Dodon Ray with them, throws it up in the air, and then lashes the beam back down at Tao. That would be the sickest thing to see. And Tao blocks his own move repelled back at him. And he now knows this guy seems to rely on his bandages, hence his name, for his attacks, and seems to be his number one thing besides his strength he relies on. And Tao smiles and says, "That can be arranged." And he summons a sword. And little by little, without even knowing it, and even though he fears it, figuring out what Tao's doing, Tao literally slices off every bandage of Bandage's body until, for the first time, we see a look at what Bandages unraveled would have looked like. And he doesn't seem to notice anything yet and says, "You didn't even scratch me." And then he is utterly horrified at what everybody in the room tells him, and when he looks at his hands and his body, there's nothing. No! What is this? And then Tao summons a bomb for the first time and is ready to throw it and just get rid of Bandages. But Bandages pleads for his life because he can't fight. He can't do anything. He's utterly unarmed and defenseless. He can't fight like this. His strength was mainly by the power of his bandages. That's his name. Please don't hurt me anymore. I surrender. And Tao thinks back. He thinks whenever he surrendered and Goku spared his life. Now he's an assassin for good. So he decides to do exactly what Goku did for him. He decides to spare Bandage's life. And Baba is just utterly horrified that one of her main strongest men was unbandaged and spared. But she is very, very impressed, she has to admit, with Tao's power. And she says, "The next one won't be so easy for you." Spike the Devilman comes out. And with his pitchfork and his abilities, Tao's sword is broken, and Tao is just left there, injured and just exhausted. Because Bandages did take a good deal out of him, even if it didn't seem like it. So, Tao surrenders. And Spike, seeing as though Tao spared his friend, and seeing no truly rootful evil inside of him, and hearing about who he was, he decides, "I'm not going to use the Devil Might beam on you." Doesn't seem truly worth it in the end. Everyone's soul has darkness, but you have clearly showed the utter complete opposite. Be thankful that I don't use that move on you. And yeah, if I did make him use the move, then that would have defeated the entire purpose of this story. So, it makes sense that he doesn't use the Devil Might Beam against Tao. But it doesn't stop him from using it against Goku, and he fails multiple times and gets beaten. Then Goku and Grandpa Gohan fight the same way, and that all goes the same up until Pilaf's gang returns. And Tao comes in for the save, and Pilaf and everybody knows who Mercenary Tao is, and they just run out of there. Bora is then resurrected, but he is still infuriated at Tao. But once he is told about everything that's happened since his defeat, and how Tao was spared and even went as far to resurrect him himself, Bora's got to admit, he wasn't expecting that. And Upa finally forgives him and says, "It might be a long time for things to settle in with me, my father who you resurrected, but I forgive you. And Goku, I hope that you and Tao and everybody else have many good adventures ahead. But don't worry, we'll meet again in the future. I promise I'll become a warrior just like you guys." And Goku said he can't wait. And Tao says, him neither. He feels like now he is finally starting to get more appreciated and have a new lease on life as an assassin for good. And it's really a change for his character and just in general. So now Goku and Tao begin to think about training for a future world tournament and the road ahead of them. What is the road ahead of them? What about whenever Tien, Shen, and Chaozu cross paths with our group this time, with Tao not killed, not cyborg, and not on Shen's side? How will that play for the tournament in the ongoing road of Tao's turning good journey?
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!